Scotiabank Centre in Halifax is hosting Canada's top women's and men's curling teams for the 2025 Montana's Canadian Curling Trials, which wrap up this weekend. Joining us this morning to chat about all the on-ice entertainment this weekend is two-time Brier winner, two-time world champion, and Olympic champion curler, and now TSN curling analyst, Russ Howard. Good morning, Russ.
Morning.
What a pleasure to have an opportunity to chat with you today. So since we have you, I want to talk about an important, 20 years ago, you were in Halifax for this same event, and you actually went all the way. You went on to the Olympics back 20 years ago. So I want you to share some memories of that time with our viewers.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I was asked to help coach the young, talented guys from Newfoundland, Brad, Mark, Mike, and Jamie, and whether it was my coaching or not, but by the time we got to the trials, they were desperate to get me onto the team, actually, because they weren't playing that well. And the curlers go through that. You get spells, ups and downs like any other sport. And I think out of necessity, they talked me into playing, and we won that darn thing. So the nostalgia walking in that building 20 years later, almost to the day, I think we won on December 6th or something. It's just so cool. The crowds here have been absolutely crazy. Brad Gushue was crazy good. Just happened to lose on an unbelievable shot, and it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, here we're seeing some images of the event, and the crowds are serious. I mean, and because it is unusual to have this high level of curling happening in our region, people are taking advantage of that. Like, the stakes are high here. Can you explain for anybody who's not into curling how important this competition is?
Well, for men and women, you're going to have two teams represent your country, put the maple leaf in their back, and go to the Olympics in Italy, and that happens once every 4 years. And you know, a curler's lifespan's a little longer than some sports, but you know, you're probably not in your prime till you're into your 30s. Your Brad Gushue's retiring at 45, so that's 15 years. You maybe get a 3-4 times to even try to get to the Olympics in your entire career. So at some point, you have better curlers with you than others, and so you know, like Gushue's a good example. He bowed out yesterday, and that's it. It's over. And to go to the Olympics and be called an Olympian for the rest of your life, it's just so, the tension out there, you can cut it with a knife. And I'm absolutely overwhelmed at the crowd support for everybody. They're not just cheering for Christina Black or Brad Gushue. When they see a good shot, up they stand and clap, and it's just been a treat. You talk to any team out there, they just had a ball.
Well, this is interesting you mentioned that. So let's compare it to 20 years ago. You maybe weren't paying as much attention to the crowds back then, but do you think that nowadays there are more people interested in curling and the fans are more knowledgeable than they were, say, 20 years ago?
It was jammed. It was jammed to the Raptors 20 years ago. It was just deafening. There's something about this arena that it seems to funnel a noise. And out at ice level, it's crazy. You can't communicate. If anybody could yell, it was me, and they still couldn't hear me once in a while. So, though the crowds have been there all along, but yes, I think they are more knowledgeable. I really do. I'm very pleased. Sometimes you go to places that they don't understand the sport. Like, well, I played in Italy with Brad at the Olympics, and we were playing Italy. Italy tried to hit and roll out to blanket end. They hit it dead on, and the crowd went crazy because he took one. He didn't even want one, but there was no knowledge at all. So the atmosphere for the athlete was just a disaster back then. And so here, this crowd's been great.
Well, let's talk about the next few days. What are you looking forward to?
Well, we've never had a best 2 out of 3 to go to the Olympics. We've never had a best 2 out of 3 for anything. And the concept from Curling Canada was make sure there wasn't an upset. Basically, Rachel Holm is the best team in the world. I kiddingly think that rules for her, but she's playing a person by the name of Christina Black that makes a ton of shots. That team, I'm telling you, they beat Carrie Anderson fair and square yesterday. If they play like they did yesterday, they could be going to the Olympics. They're underdogs by a ridiculous amount, but don't tell them that.
Interesting. All right, and let's talk about the TSN coverage. If we're not lucky enough to be able to get seats in the Scotiabank Centre, how can we watch all the action this weekend?
We've got it all on live. I think we're one today. I want to say 6:30 tonight. Has been 7 all week, and we got every game all the way through. Total coverage, cameras everywhere. Lots of people running around making the rest of us look good, and it's a brilliant sport for television because 15-minute intervals. There's 10 crescendos basically with the 10 ends. The curlers are mic'd unlike any other sport, and if you want to learn the sport in a hurry, tune in.
All right, Russ, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You bet.
Have a great time this weekend. That was a curling legend, Russ Howard.